Okay.
Yeah, right. And it now says live on custom live streaming. So you're now live, and I'm just going to check on the web. It should take you to a web page as well. It opens your browser and takes you to the web page normally. Or it will do in a couple of seconds.
Oh, there's Kevin.
It's Kevin coming in. Right, and I can tell you now, we've just gone live on the Liberal web page.
Okay.
Yeah, right, and it now says. Oops, I'm just going to stop that. Okay. So basically, you're live on the streaming as well now, and then at the end of the service, you can just finish the service, or you can actually stop it. Kevin, you're on mute.
Sorry, Stefan. Say that again.
Yeah, at the end of the service, you end everything, you just end it, and it will stop the live stream automatically. Or if for some reason you wanted to stop the live stream but keep things going, you can just click on the little drop down box at the top and just say stop live stream.
Right. So you go on the three dots
and just say custom live streaming service.
The only option is it the only option basically?
The only option, yeah.
On Shabbat, I will be around for the first part of the service anyway. I can't stay for the end because I've got this other thing on. So if there's any issues.
So shall I try and start it, Kev? And if I get stuck, I can always text you or something. But hopefully, having been through it.
How did you get? Did you get on okay? Because
I think so. I mean, basically, the first way I got in was sort of slightly wrong. Well, it wasn't wrong, but it was just a different route. Whereas you have to go onto the Zoom website first.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
You go onto my account basically, and then it gives you the Mosaic ones right at the bottom. Mosaic Liberals right at the bottom.
Yeah. Yes. Still alive. Yeah.
So hopefully.
Well, I think there's like three ways you went in there. I mean, because you can either go in using your little app on your desktop by logging on as Mosaic Liberal and then starting it, or you can go into Zoom US and then go to My Account Meetings and start the meeting. Or the way that you did it as well is you went Zoom US, logged in and went host a meeting and put the meeting ID in.
Yeah,
it will get you to the same place in the end.
If they're going by the website, because there you've got the default meetings all set up.
That's better. That's much better. But sometimes, say, our Shabbat services are buried in the bottom, and you've got to look on other pages. So
yeah.
But that's not too difficult. And because for your executive meetings, do you know how to schedule a meeting? Will that be part two?
That'll be part two. Yes, I mean, presumably it's using the same route, is it?
If you use the website, then there's a button there to schedule a meeting, and that's when you can go in there and set it up. And the only thing I tend to do on the meetings is I always say, don't worry about a passcode.
Yeah.
But it's just, we use a waiting room. That's absolutely fine.
That's fine.
And the good idea, if you're hosting, is to get a co-host. Absolutely. If you miss something, it happened to you once one Friday night. I don't know how long you were waiting for, but I was the only host and I missed you.
Yeah.
Just ask Adrian, by anybody who's kind of.
Are you able as a host to mute other people? Can you do? Yes. You have the power to do that.
Yes, you can, but don't mute everybody. If you mute everybody and then you're asked to do a reading, unless they're a co-host, and that sounds a bit complicated.
Yeah. Okay.
They can't. You actually mute everyone for a reason.
When you mute, if you mute everybody, it asks you, do you want to allow people to unmute themselves? And I normally leave that ticked as yes.
All right.
So if you mute everybody and they can, so at the start, because what we find is at the start of the service, everybody's chatting, then you're going to mute everybody, and then you have to unmute. It'll either be Rabbi Rachel or it'll be Gwendolyn.
You just
don't forget to mute yourself afterwards, otherwise you start singing along and we all hear you.
Where is the mute or unmute? Where's the mute everybody option?
Right. If you go to at the bottom, you've got a thing that says participants.
Yep.
If you click on that, you'll get 3 people come up, and there should be a mute all button there in the middle.
You see that?
You've got a list of 3 participants.
I've got 3. Okay. Well, chat seems to have come up, which is not what I wanted.
No, you probably want to click on
participants. So you should get.
I see. Yeah, mute all.
Yeah, so if you do mute all a second,
You try it now.
give it a try.
You've always wanted to do this to me, Stephen. I know.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. There you go. Now what?
Right now, because you checked the box that said allow people to unmute themselves, I unmuted myself.
Right.
Okay, but if you'd not checked that box, then you would have to unmute me.
I see.
Depending, Kevin's talking, you can't hear him at all. He's still on mute. So you could try unmuting Kevin now. So if you go to the participant list,
Ask to unmute. It's got asked to unmute.
right? Yeah. So some people will say unmute, and some will say ask to unmute. It depends what version of Zoom they're using.
Right. Oh, there you go.
If you ask them to unmute, they get a thing that pops up on their screen that says the host has asked you to unmute yourself. Click here. And if you just unmute them, it does pop up on their screen that says the host has unmuted you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I've learned something about that box about whether you can unmute yourself. It's sort of confusing me. That's the best way of doing it, actually.
That's what we've done. The only time I've said, and actually when people are muted, if you look at your participant list where you've got the 3 dots next to at the side, I think it will probably say something that says allow people to unmute themselves. So even if you've allowed them to do it during the service, you can actually turn that off and say, no, they can't anymore. Because we've only had to do it once when we had a bar mitzvah and somebody kept messing around with his phone and kept unmuting himself.
Oh,
Then we went, right, we'll mute everybody for now and you can't unmute yourself.
Yeah, I can't see that option actually where it says allow. All I can see is the option to mute, and then there's a more.
Yeah, well, click on more.
Yeah. Then it says rename or edit the profile picture.
Oh no, that's on an individual, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you look at the bottom of the list, there's another underneath mute all. So next to mute all, there's 3 dots.
Yeah, that one. Okay.
And I think that's the bit.
Mute participants upon entry. Allow participants to unmute themselves.
That's it. So you can switch that on and off during the meeting if you want. So if you said, right, I'm going to mute everybody but allow you to unmute, and then you got somebody who's a bit of a pain in the backside, keeps unmuting themselves, and you mute them and they unmute themselves and you mute them again. Eventually you get fed up with it and you go, right, I'll turn that option off now.
Right. So then they can't unmute.
And then they can't unmute themselves. They can only be unmuted when you either unmute them or request to unmute them.
Right. Okay.
It's, I mean, obviously with the size of congregation you've got, it's quite easy to keep kind of control.
It's
more when you've got like 100 plus.
Yes.
But in fact, even on high holy days, we left that option on for people to unmute themselves.
Yeah.
And we only had 1 or 2 instances where somebody was playing around a little bit and, doing what they shouldn't be doing.
You can also you can mute individuals anyway, can't you?
Yes. Yeah. If you go,
it happens a lot.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. They've done their reading.
Yeah.
And they're kind of they're fine with it, and suddenly they start singing kind of to the next song. You actually realise, hang on, you haven't. So it's good. Like you'll get used to. I don't want to name names here, but you'll get used to the people who just know automatically to unmute themselves. There's some you just keep an eye on, and you just do it subtly. I think the good thing is not be too directive with people. Yeah, it's like being, remember to mute yourself. Just let things go and do it yourself sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing that often confuses people, particularly if they've got things like iPads, is they tend to, as they grip it, they tend to touch the buttons.
Yeah.
They can accidentally unmute themselves, or people get very confused because they can't hear the sound. So what they do is they go, unmute, that's what it is. And they're not unmuting the sound, they're unmuting their microphone. So you mute them again. And they go, I still can't hear anything. I'll unmute myself again.
Yeah, you get a bit of ping pong.
Yeah. So the thing is, when you've got a number of participants, that participant list, anybody who's speaking kind of rises to the top. So, suddenly the list changes and somebody jumps to the top because they've unmuted themselves. So it's fairly easy to shut them down.
If I wanted to get out of that list of participants, there's a cross at the top right, but I'm worried that would just take me out of the whole thing.
On the list of participants, if you click the little cross, just on the list itself, that will just shut that little window down. It won't stop the meeting.
The only way you stop the meeting is actually click on leave meeting.
Okay. All right. So I can now, if I press X.
Yeah.
Oh, no, then it gives me the option of end meeting for all.
Oh, right, no, right. So say don't end the meeting for all. You've clicked the X right at the top of the screen, haven't you?
The
Yes.
wrong X. Yeah, I know what you've done.
If you've got the list of is your list of participants? It's not a floating window.
No.
Right. I think if you click on the three dots next to the list of participants, next to the mute all button, does it say something like pop out window or something like that?
No. No, there's another three dots at the bottom. I wonder if it's no.
On the list of participants. I mean, at the moment you can see the participants at the side, can't you?
Yeah, that's right. I just want to get rid of. I want to.
Let me try merge to meet. Right, I've got it at the side now. So if I want to get rid of that, I can. All right. So where you've got your list of participants, there's a little arrow on the left-hand side of the word participants. If you click on that, and you can either do close or pop out.
I've got it.
So if you do pop out, you get a floating window. If you close it, it vanishes.
Oh, I see.
I tend to have mine as a floating window because I can move it around the screen while I'm looking at other things.
Yes, it should allow you. Yeah. So
yeah.
So if you create the pop-up window and then press the cross.
Then cross the and it will remember what you've done last time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay, so you'll be okay.
I think
I
so.
will log on anyway. What I'll do is Shabbat, because I say I've got to leave halfway through the service. I will kind of log on my usual. I normally log on at 10:30, even if nobody else is there. And what I'll do as host, I will make you the host, and then you can make whoever you want as co-hosts.
Okay. Just one other question, actually, Steph. I think I know the answer to this, but if there's any problem with my laptop during the service, to say because I've had the odd occasion where it goes blue.
Yeah.
Would everybody then get cut off?
No. What happened the other day? Well, we believe that if you are unexpectedly disconnected from the meeting, it will appoint somebody else. If you've got
that
a co-host,
happened to me, yes.
Yeah. So if you've got a co-host, it will appoint one of them the host.
Okay.
So the meeting doesn't close.
I thought I killed a Shabbat service once, and evidently I didn't. We had a power cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Do you remember there was a Jam Kazam one? And it was. I thought, well, perhaps I was doing everyone a favour, but evidently it did carry on somehow.
I would suggest that, when you do the meeting on Shabbat, you might want to make, for example, is Rabbi Rachel taking it on Shabbat?
Yeah. No, Gwendolyn this Shabbat.
On Shabbat. So you could make Gwendolyn co-host as well. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, the only thing that means is for Gwendolyn, she'll see the things popping up at the screen which says Kevin has entered the waiting room. But just tell her to ignore that.
She'll be fine with that. I think she's good. Yeah. It won't be too much of a distraction. Rachel's always.
How do I make someone a co-host?
Right. So either on the participant list or on their picture, on the three dots next to their name, where you should be able. If you go to mine, it should be able to say make co-host.
Oh, yeah. So if I make you, do I make you a host or a co-host?
Well, if you make me a host, it means you give up the hosting.
Oh, I see.
You've got no control of the meeting. So normally you make people a co-host.
Yeah.
The difference between host and co-host really is, I think only the host can do the live streaming, and only the host can do things like breakout rooms and polls and things like that, which generally we tend not to use on a Shabbat.
I don't think I'd like to introduce that to our services, but anyway.
Breakout rooms.
Yeah.
So you're already a co-host, Kevin, actually, interestingly.
Yeah, because Kevin logged on using the Mosaic Liberal login. So if you get two logins, the first one is the host, and if you log in the second time,
that's happened before.
You go to the co-host.
Why am I not the host? And I realised Rachel logged on before me, even though she had no intention of hosting, but I think she's just got that facility. It was quite interesting. So
yeah, we get it sometimes when if Mark Phillips logs on to ours first, or you suddenly go, why am I not the host? And then of course it confuses people because I can see two Mosaic Liberals at the moment. Yeah. So the other thing is you probably want to rename yourself so that we know,
Yeah, I always do that. It's my default. I've also been quite magic with my name for some
rename mine. I think I've got a way. There's a way you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can rename yourself, and you can also rename people who join, because often people will join on an iPad.
Yeah,
and you just want to rename them.
Be careful of your choice of words, Stephen.
Well, what should I call myself? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. There's plenty of names we can call you, but
yes, Kevin decided the other day he was going to be called Sir Kevin.
Sir Kevin.
I called myself just a little bit playing words, and then someone actually asked Dan Simon. I didn't realise Kevin had been knighted.
Yes.
Oh, it was actually a genuine question. So
It was. I took it very seriously.
yeah, another informal forums. I've had good fun with the renaming, but that's for
more informal
Okay.
situation.
I think during Sukkot we renamed Michelle plus Cat. I think we did.
No, I
That's
should have
right,
called Khatan. Khatan. But anyway.
Yeah, I think they all renamed themselves when they did that play or whatever it was, didn't
Yes. No, I was
they?
renaming
You
them.
did that. You did
That
that.
was me.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can have fun with that if we want.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've actually got to go now because I'm
Okay.
actually you're in tier 1. I'm meeting a friend at the Three Crowns in
Oh, yeah.
British. That's tier 1, isn't it?
Yeah,
Barbie,
we're all okay out here at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't think you're allowed to though. If you're in tier 2, you can't meet anybody in tier 1.
Break the rules, mate.
Yeah.
In the garden.
In the garden's okay. If you're in the garden, that's okay.
Don't go inside, Kevin.
Yeah, you're not allowed inside though.
Okay, I'll see.
Because I thought about that because my son is in tier 1 and we're tier 2, and we thought, we can go visit them, and they went, no, you can't.
Yeah.
If you're in tier 2, you're not allowed to mix with other households.
Crazy.
Anyway, it's actually it's Robin. It's a member of your community, so.
Oh, that makes it all right then. Fine.
Yeah. So, and I've got 3 crowns at 7:30, so I get to leave now, and I won't pop into your house, Stephen.
Okay, good.
Okay, I hope you're okay with all of that.
Yeah, we'll see how it all goes. I think I know what I'm doing, so that's fine. Thank you very much.
It's good to have someone on board that knows what he's doing, because if you're relying on me, then
well, it's good to have a backup because you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
You need a break, don't you? We all need a break.
We all do, yeah.
On the whole time.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Stefan.
Okay, no problem, Steve.
Thank you again. We do appreciate your support. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.
No
Bye,
problem, guys.
Shalom.
Bye. I'll end it all. Bye.
Okay, yeah.